Hi, this is Randy with Toxically Mail. With me, I've got Chris, JT, and Bing. This is the first actual Toxic Talk. So if you tuned in to our original podcast with just an introduction of us guys, telling you what we do, what the company stands for, and what we believe in, this one is actually a no shit talk. So today's episode, we will be covering trade schools and trade skills. It's going to be a general overview. Some things will be in depth, some things won't be. It's going to be a conversation between men on the importance of trade skills, trade schools, how to get in them, and that's going to differ from state to state. But without further ado, we're just going to get started and dive right in. Each episode, we will be doing what is called a toxic check. Now, I discussed that in the introduction, but the toxic check, what that means is we're going to find something in the news that affects all of us men, blue-collar men, and either disprove it, debunk it, or prove that it is no shit real. And this is what affects us on a day-to-day basis. And unlike other podcasts that are out there, we don't want you to just take our word for it. We're going to give you the actual information. So it won't be, I've done my research, trust me. No, I'm going to show you, or we're going to show you where we got the research from. So check the comment section where we will have our actual research printed, and check the upper screen up here, and you can actually see what we're reading off of. So for today, the information that we're getting is from the Pew Research Center. And for those of you that don't know what it is a nonpartisan research center that goes out there and looks at every piece of available data and comes up with an unbiased view or list of information for us to make our own determination off of. Also, we are going by the Bureau of Labor Statistics and the Department of Labor for everything we've got here. We're going to talk about blue collar. We're all blue collar. If you're watching this, you're either blue collar or you're trying to get into blue collar. Now, 27% of the workforce is us. Now, what's depressing is you have 351 million people in the United States, and only 161.3 million is your total labor force. That's blue collar, that's white collar, that's people trying to get jobs that can't get jobs, or for some reason or another, the 161.3 million people that are either working or trying to work. So that leaves an awful big number out there of people that are either kids. I mean, it's not a huge number of it because the amount of people that are having children these days is dwindling pretty quickly. Or it's the elderly, the retired, or the people that, just don't want to work. That's an awful big number. So it's 161.3 million people to keep the lights on.
Well, it's the government right down, too.
That's it. Well, you also got to take into consideration the vets. I mean, not the vets, the military. I didn't put that in there. That's very true. The military doesn't actually count towards the labor number. So that 200 million that's out there, that's left straggling, is probably a mixture of just about, everybody. But it's still going to be a huge number of people that don't work it. And it doesn't even count against the unemployment. But I know after a certain period of time, being on unemployment, they fall off, and it's no longer counted because they're not actively looking for work.
Actually, extensions, depending on how long.
For sure. Again, 43.55 million of the workers here in the United States are you and me. The male to female ratio in the blue collar sector is 12-1. It's predominantly male, which is why we're doing this right now. For those of you women out there that are working blue collar jobs, my hats off to you. Don't take offense to that. It's still, 12-1. Out of all of that, the big number to look at is boomers, 65 to 72-year-old people. I'm not there yet, neither is Bing. We're getting close. But boomers make up between 15 and 34% of the blue collar jobs, but that depends on what job it is, electricians, HVAC, all that kind of job. Now, out of that enormous number, 43.55 million, only 25 to 30% is actually a licensed trade skill. That includes electricians. Plumbers, pipe fitters, and steam fitters, they all fit in one category. HVAC technicians, building contractors. Now, the reason I say that's licensed, in many states it is, some states it's not. Your land surveyors, your welders, and your A&P licensed aircraft mechanics. Those all fit into the licensed category. Now, the not licensed, which some of this I don't agree with. I mean, we've already talked about this. Talk about it now, like your truck drivers. They have to have a CDL in order to haul vehicles around or whatever they're hauling. And then you have special certifications that go with that too. I mean, even my dad did it. Hazmat. Some of them require a security clearance for hauling around black ops or government military stuff, But also under the not licensed is general construction or your general laborers, your warehouse and production. That also figures into that. But that's the largest majority right there, is the unlicensed, or what they consider the unlicensed. So the first toxic check that we're doing, and we did this with the National Bureau of Labor Statistics and the National Department of Labor. The Pew Research Center even did a article on this. Gen Z. I know you're out there watching. Some of you are out there watching. It says 42% of y'all are coming out to the blue collar side. So 42% Gen Z is coming out there. Now CNN and MSNBC and CBS all put out a hit piece on Gen Z entering the blue collar labor force and that they were very unsatisfied. Well, Gen Z, according to the Department of Labor, y'all are applying for general contracting jobs, general labor, and welders. We're going to get into more of that later. If you are upset about this, stay tuned. Watch what we have to say. You might just change your damn mind. Now, for the overall professional, which is what we're considered if you're licensed in your states, the overall professional certification crowd, be happy, only 2% or less is actually unemployed. That is the smallest number of employment in the United States, or unemployment in the United States. So blue-collar certified people, they're actually staying employed. Now, we'll cut into the numbers for those licensed workers, electricians. 3 of us at this table are electricians. Some of us have done residential, some of us have done commercial. All of us have done aerospace. Electricians make up for 1.1 million of the licensed sector. It's pretty big. You got 4 different levels. Well, actually, you got 3, but 4 if you count your specialties. You have apprentice, journeyman, and master. Now, for those of you that are wondering about the electrical trades or the electrical trade skill, to get into it, to be an apprentice. Well, to be an apprentice, depends on the state you're going to. Some of us work unions here. Some states require that you join a union. We will get into union talk later, but some states require you to join a union. As far as getting into the trade school itself, or trade skill. The old days, and what you and I have talked about on numerous occasions, in the old days, you all, or a person that was interested in one of these trade skills, would go up to find somebody that was already doing the job and say, I want to apprentice, or I want to do the job I want to learn. Some of that still holds true, but that's what, I mean, have you guys had any experience with that? Usually that's a small town.
Yes, my son did that. I have a buddy who was actually a master electrician here. And he got hooked up with a trade, and he actually got him hooked up so good that the company he was with actually paid for his college.
Like community college trade school?
Community college trade school that actually he would go, he would have a job, he would work, and then at nighttime he would do 3 days a week. He would go to college. Cool. So when he graduates, he's actually a licensed electrician, fully paid.
Well,
fully paid and while still working.
And some states,
But no, you heard it.
I was going to say, some states also offer incentive for the company to hire apprentices, especially military or everything. Because if you go to workintexas.com, they had a deal where if you go and the company goes in there and hires an apprentice, they get tax benefits and everything. So it works out the company and them. So
I mean, it's going to depend on labor for the company itself.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Got any experience with it at all?
No, other than tattoo shops.
For sure. So that's becoming an apprentice. We will talk more about this at a later date. A lot of people that I see that are unsatisfied with the whole apprenticeship program are unsatisfied because they'll go to the trade school, but a lot of these companies aren't hiring first-year apprentices. Don't let that detract from your desire to join the blue-collar community and make some money. We will talk about in a later podcast, so stay attention to that. Stay tuned for those on how to bypass that system altogether. It might just be your location. If it is location and this is something you want to do because you're not making enough money where you're at, you might have to buck up and move. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
One thing, until the next podcast, when we actually dive deeper into it, it's probably best that if you're actually looking into blue collar work or you have a certain trade that you want to get into or interested in, contact the halls, contact some people and see when, because depending on how you want to do it, if you want to go union side, non-union side, they have times per year where you can actually go and get interviewed, and they do it like once a year, depending on the state and location. So it's best to do your homework now and actually look into different trades and see if maybe you want to be a welder, and then also you look into it and be like, nah, that shit ain't for me. But then you don't want to be an electrician, or you want maybe a little bit soft and you want to be inside, So it's just one of those things,
Yeah, because I was looking into that, because I looked at the San Antonio elevator and everything, and they don't have recruitment until May of 27.
Exactly.
And everything. So it's like, that caught me off guard.
It depends on, because they'll actually have a certain time where they'll accept applications. They'll go through the applications because they don't want to do it all year because they got other things to do. Right. So they'll do one mass hire saying, okay, here's the school we're going to set up, or the apprenticeship program. Right. And then we'll take 15 of these guys that qualified, and then you're in the school, but then you'll start out with year one. But it just depends on location, where you're at. If you don't go union, you could get hired on right then, depending on how you want to do it. So it's good to do your homework first. Just don't rely on Toxically mail. You got to get out there and do the steps too. That will help you out anyway.
Yeah, networking, talking to people and everything like that.
Yeah.
If let's say I want to go do an apprenticeship, I mean, do you see older people doing it, or is it
okay
or kind of a mix?
For example, like with me, I did 21 years in the military. Got out, did welding school. I was just doing it for art.
Right.
One of the guys said, "Hey, you look like you could be an iron worker." Next thing you know, I went in there, interviewed, got it, and I was 39, 40 years old, starting as an iron worker.
Yeah.
And I did it for 12 years. So it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. I was in the same class with an 18-year-old. Naturally, I was.
It's actually funny that you bring that up, because that was actually one of the talking points. 15% of the blue-collar workers that are joining today are between the ages of 65 and 17. Well, that's rovers.
Yeah.
401k didn't pan out the way they thought it was going to. They're figuring out the Social Security is not as good as you thought it was good.
Right.
Yes, boomers are owning a lot of businesses that we're all trying to get into, or viewers are trying to get into. But a lot of them still, I mean, that's a good number, 15% that's joining the labor force in blue collar sectors, going to school, or boomers.
Yeah. And if you see it, a lot of the times they'll hire you. If you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh no, I'm not going to make it, I'm too old. No, they'll go for a boomer quick because of your work ethic, depending on who you are.
For sure.
So there's a lot of things to it. Don't be discouraged on coming over to the blue collar side. The only thing I'm going to say is just watch out what you ask for. Because, it's very labor intensive. So if you have certain ailments or something like that, you might want to look into it, because everything's blue collar. You got mild blue collar, and then next to know you're iron working 13 stories high. So it just depends on what you want to do and what you can physically do as well.
Which is also too the job satisfaction. You're saying the boomers getting into it and stuff because just at the end of the day, yeah, we have all the days that suck because you're like, man, I didn't accomplish anything, but actually you did and everything. You can go back and look at what you did. It's like, holy crap, there it is. There's testament to what I did.
And it's funny because I was just talking to my old lady, and I told her, I was like, you know what, the most satisfying job that I ever had was my 12 years of ironworking.
Yeah.
Because, and she's like, well, you came home every day broke.
Right.
It's like, you're right, but I was broke and happy,
Yeah.
you know, because I was happy to say I was an ironworker. I was happy to just get up there and see what I have accomplished and what I've built.
Yeah.
And it was from California all the way to New York.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, you know, just look into it.
Yeah.
What's happiness like? What's happiness like?
You haven't been there in a long time.
I'll go for I'll call it over.
Another talking point that I want to go over before we get too far into this, as far as what the individual trade schools and trade schools do, would probably be why everybody's watching us right now. White collar jobs versus blue collar jobs. Why do we want to get into blue collar jobs, and why do people want to stay? First off, white collar jobs, office jobs, data entry, stuff like that. I mean, not your serious professionals like your medical and all that kind of job. Of course, they're going to stay.
Right.
But for the most part, data entry, office jobs, they're about to become a thing of the past. And right now, for a lot of people that are trying to break into some of these fields, they're paying a shit ton of money to get a bachelor's or a master's in whatever field they feel would make them a lot of money. I hate to break it to people out there, for you listeners or watchers or viewers or family, friends, whatever the hell you are. I'm going to call you family for the network. White collar jobs are about to be a thing of the past. And if you, like, again, go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics or go to the Department of Labor, you're going to see a huge number or fall off from these white collar jobs due to being outsourced to technological advancements. And yes, a lot of that has to do with AI. What, Glenn?
No, just another aspect on the difference between white collar and blue collar that I've seen. I mean, I'm no expert on it, but this is just what I've seen is a lot of people that go into blue collar are people that don't have the time and the funds to get the education for a white collar job. So it's like, I need money now. I need to support my family. I've got kids, I've got child support, I've got this. So they want to jump into a trade as fast as possible because it generates quick money.
Well,
and then they get in there and they're like, oh wow, this actually is that this can be a career. And then they start going down that path.
Well, another thing that falls into that too is you also have to look at how much white collar makes versus blue collar. White collar, you got a master's degree and you've got a lot of experience in your field, you can make up to $85K unless you're getting into like serious business, entrepreneurship, executive positions that, you know, they make the six-figure incomes. But I mean, really, to be honest, you're talking about 1% of the labor force that is in those positions.
Right.
Not everybody can be a chief. I mean, some people just aren't cut out for it. I mean, people's skills aren't exactly taught anymore, which we covered that on another episode. But so white collar jobs are, I mean, they're topping out at about $85,000, I believe, is what I was looking at. And the unemployment rate is starting to skyrocket, or underemployment, due to being outsourced to technology.
Downsizing.
Downsizing. So blue collar jobs, yes, you're going to find a lot of articles out there trying to chase you away from blue collar. They say that blue collar is not happy. Blue collar doesn't like their job. They don't have job satisfaction. I don't know who these people are talking to, but I will say this: I was a U.S. Navy sailor, and they always say a bitching sailor is a happy sailor. Correct?
We're not all Navy here. Army here. Army. Okay. So
Yeah, we got the Army
2 and
Navy
2.
game right here.
Yeah.
Complaining is it just comes with the trade. Like men, I mean, we bond by rooting each other, talking shit.
If we're not making fun of each other, it means we don't like you.
Exactly. If we don't talk to you, we probably don't like you. Or we're trying to fill you out to see if you're going to turn us into for sure. I know that's me. So blue collar, I should, go with that too. White collar, we're topping out at like 85K. Now for blue collar, depending on the trade skill, they go all the way up to 250K.
Man.
Input. Now, I mean, some of that's, some of those are salary, some of those are hourly. Everybody's got their preference on whether they want to go salary or hourly. Salary generally gets used and abused because they know they can get that time out of you and you're still only getting paid for a 40-hour week. They might have some kind of compensation. My dad was a boss for coal mines, foreman, and the next coal mine he went to, he shot that down and decided he's going to be an above-ground vehicle, heavy vehicle operator, just because it was an hourly wage and made way more money, which is a lot of people look at blue collar just for the overtime. So if you're only looking for a 40-hour work week, you probably don't want to come here. If you're looking for money and you're looking to support yourself, support your family, come to us. That or the military, for fuck's sake. And a lot of benefits from there too. Again, another episode.
Right.
But stay tuned for later.
Considered an apprenticeship and everything. You
Blue
fit,
collar-
right? If right
military fits in the whole blue collar subset anyway, because no matter what you're doing there, it's still a production or a service oriented field or technical.
and you're actually taught.
And you were taught, and sometimes better than your civilian counterparts.
and you get years of practice at doing it.
That for sure. And then you can get it turned over to college credits. You can get turned over to hours towards your apprenticeship or journeyman.
Yeah.
You have to go with the Department of Labor in your state. We'll cover all that later. We're getting too far into this now. So without further ado, let's start talking about some blue collar jobs. The licensed jobs. We're dealing with license today. We're going to talk about the trade skills and trade schools like we said in the beginning. So without further ado, we'll talk about the electricians. Like I was saying, 1.1 million of the blue collar sector for trade skills, which again is only 15%. Is it not right? 15, is that what I said? I think it's only 15% of the, 25 to 30% is the licensed sector. So this file, like you said, it falls under the licensed sector. Apprenticeship, we were talking about how to get into those. It used to be the mom and pops. You can go to trade schools. You can go to our community college. Let's get to that at the end of the actual episode here. So going from an apprentice to a journeyman, that's a hard route. This is about the same for all of them. I didn't find much differentiation between the different trade skills when it comes to this. 8,000 hours of work. Now, some of that, only 4,000. Yeah, 4,000 has to be OJT with either commercial or residential. The rest of that is going to figure into, actually your school. Trade skill, your trade school. It doesn't matter which one it is. Yes, you can do your apprenticeship and stuff like that. For most of these technical ones, like electrical, HVAC, which is kind of electrical, it's kind of factors into that shit. Plumbing, plumbing not so much. It depends on your state. Anyway, most of them, depending on your state, require some sort of hours for classroom.
Right.
You have to either online or actually there.
Yeah, but there was the union that I was with, it was classroom.
Right.
We went, I believe it was 2 to 3 times a week for 3 years.
Gotcha. You worked like 2 days at the site. And
No.
3
I
days.
worked all 5 days at the site.
And then when the
And
clients
then
out here.
nighttime.
Gotcha.
3 hours on, I believe it was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
3 hours. Gotcha.
It was either 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But depending on, like I said, it depends on the state, depends on how they do it. Yeah.
Right, sure.
Well, the company really doesn't, well, for the ironworker side, it doesn't really have anything to do with it. Because the ironworker union actually runs the school.
Right.
So yeah, it was 2 to 3 nights a week and multiple tests, quarters, 3 years. So you were right. It depends on the number of hours, but I didn't know the exact amount of hours you had to have to work classroom.
Right.
Now, for these licensed trade schools, even though, yes, they pay the most out of all the blue-collar jobs, this is not for the faint of heart. If you're looking for quick money, I mean, it does pay better. I mean, even entry-level pays better than working at, like, NTV or something like that, or like used car salesman or whatever, based off commission. You're going to be making more steady money than those. You're still looking at about 4 to 5 years of actual work before you move into the journeyman level.
Yes.
Now, electricians are one of the ones that have a level after that, which is called master. You're master electrician. To go from journeyman to master, you have to train under a master. For apprenticeship to journeyman, you can have a journeyman sign off on it, or you can have a master sign off on it. You're going to have to contact your state department board of licensing to find out exactly what goes down in your state. But another one is for electricians anyway, is the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. They will actually have a breakdown of state by state. And again, look in the comments. We will be posting all of this information there, so you can go look for it yourself. They will have a state-by-state breakdown on what has to happen for you to go become an apprentice, become a journeyman, or become a master. Now, past that, is there something past that? Yes, there is something past that, where there's even something less than that. It just depends on what you're looking to get into. Electricians don't just have to be doing residential or commercial or aerospace or whatever. They can be doing specialized fields like solar, alarm systems, fire alarms, security alarms, whatever, PLCs. There were specialized areas for them to get into. It all depends on what you're interested in or what you think your talent would be in. Just remember, and this goes for all trade skills, the more dangerous the job is, the more it pays. That's just a fact of life.
Bigger the risk, sweeter the reward.
Yeah, for sure. Same thing, difference between low power versus high power tech, or low voltage versus high voltage technicians, PLCs, oil field, oil rig. It just depends. A lot of it does move up with risk. I saw you shaking your head.
I'm never going to be an electrician.
Everybody talks shit about electricians. You never clean up your shit. You're too
I
prissy.
don't care about that
Yeah.
cleanup shit.
Yeah.
It's that freaking one. You have a bad day, you're about to have a really bad day.
Everyone can have a bad day.
Man, that's not. You can keep that electric shit to yourself.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm done.
I mean, it's for some, and it's not for others. Anyway, all right. So again, when you're looking at trying to get into electrical work in your state, they wanted to look at, which check the comments again, is your International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. It'll give you a breakdown of state to state, and then also look at your local licensing board. If it's a union state, talk to union members. Best thing to do is just go up to a place that has electricians and ask them what they're doing. I mean, they will lead you the right way. For actual electrical workers, depending on the location you're at, what state or whatever, the unemployment rate is 3.4%. It is low, but it's higher than most. We'll get into why that is in a later time in this episode. Next, we're going to move into plumbers. Everybody's favorite, which is actually nobody's favorite. Nobody likes to work with shit.
It's got to go somewhere.
But it's got to go someplace.
Wow.
Your plumbers, your pipe fitters or steam fitters, that kind of stuff. Be honest, we're going to go into the breakdown of why this is so important here pretty soon. But again, same thing, apprentice, journeyman, master. 3 to 5 years, you're going to be working as an apprentice underneath the journeyman or underneath the master before you can move up to the journeyman. With all of these, you have to do your time and you have to do an exam. So you are going to have to study for the test. But the breakdown on money for between electricians and plumbers, Electricians start at 23 an hour and tops out, if you're not specialty, at 53 an hour. For plumbers, it's right the same, just about the same, 20 to 27 for an apprentice, topping out at about 45 to 50 an hour. And that's just for regular plumbers. This doesn't mean you own your own business. This means you're working for somebody. So as a master plumber, I would hope to God you own your own business at that point. Stay tuned for that episode when we teach you how to apply for your own LLC or whatever it is you want to do. Again, for the plumbers, you need to contact your local licensing board to find out exactly what it takes to join the plumbing community in your state and go from there. Or you, like I said, you can call a plumber and find out how he started. Hopefully he's nice. I'm pretty sure he is. Most of them are pretty cool. Now, for the plumbing aspect, it's less than 2.5% unemployment. I'll get into white collar unemployment in a minute, but blue collar is typically going pretty low. Next on the list is HVAC, everybody's favorite. Nobody likes to be hot. Refrigerators and all that kind of jazz. Your apprentices start out at 19 to 25 an hour. They top out between 38 and 50. Well, it's pretty common across the board there. Now for HVAC, it's a little bit different. You have apprentice, you have journeyman. It all depends on after that. I mean, they do have masters in some states. It all depends on the state you're in. Same thing, 3 to 5 years to become a journeyman. You got to do the 8,000 hours. Some of the, so out of the 8,000 hours, this does have a specified range for classroom hours. You have to do 216 to 576 classroom hours, depending on your state. But the minimum is 216 classroom hours. For master, it's going to be 2 to 4 years underneath a master supervision. So that's about a total of 10 years of work before you can even be considered for the master range. Which makes sense. I mean, right, at that point, you're the subject matter expert of your field of expertise. They have a lot of specialty certs. 2 of the big ones are NATE, or the HVAC Excellence certification. Now, out of all of the blue-collar jobs, this one has the lowest unemployment at less than 1.4%. They're not usually separated per field. I mean, HVAC's and HVAC. Some of you HVAC guys out there that are watching this, if you disagree, please put it in the comments. Show me where I'm wrong. Show me where the Department of Labor Statistics, stuff like that is wrong. It's not that I don't believe you, for sure. Let us know, because other people are going to be looking at this job, especially when your unemployment rate is so low to get into. And your projected increase, I haven't gotten a projected increase with the other ones, like projected increase for electricians over the next 10 years is 9%. The projected increase for HVAC technicians just in the next 2 years is supposed to be 8%. So this is a growing field. That don't sound like much to you guys out there, but that is actually a really big deal. That means we got a lot of job openings, and we'll get on with that later too.
Also, when you do make your comments, make sure you tell us where you're talking from.
For sure.
Because it depends on the state and where you're located at. So if there's someone that actually is watching this and can see maybe in your area, that we can get some more contact with that between you guys.
This is the Blue Collar Network. You're here for a reason, even if it's to teach us. By all means, somebody else has that question. You have the answer. So the next one, a lot of people's favorite. This is a big one for Gen Z. They're trying to break into, which is welding. Welding is not just a skill; it's a fucking art form. If you want to make it real money. So for welding, this one really is different. Even though they say there are masters out there, this one doesn't really require a master level. I mean, it's most of your master levels or for the technical sides and stuff like that at the the older trade schools, trade skills. Yes, we do have some welders at the table, myself and JT, for example. You're looking at about 3 to 4 years.
Not very well.
What's that?
I don't weld very well.
Oh, well.
I can tackle him like a motherfucker.
the welding side, when they're talking about the master welders and stuff like that, they're talking about, for example, one of our gentlemen that we work with, he worked for NASA, and they always called him because he was one of the only people that actually could weld gold.
Yeah, they
want to get to that one too. Yeah, they got a specialized title.
Yeah, there's specialties and stuff like that.
So for welders, as an apprentice, you're looking at 3 to 4 years. Again, you're looking at a minimum 2,000 hours of OJT. You're looking at a minimum 144 hours of classroom time. The 5-year program that are in most states right now, it's 8,000 hours of OJT, 1,200 hours of classroom time, and that covers stuff like MIG, TIG, all that kind of stick welding, all that kind of junk. Masters, they're not usually, you're not really, like I said, licensed. It's not like a licensed title, but you'll get typically 4 years as a journeyman, depends on the state of job, but the professional certs, like certified welding engineer, that's a big deal. The welding contractor is a big deal. It all depends on the field you're going into, like aerospace, or let's say you're doing pipe welding at the North Shelf, like my uncle, or some of these like NDI and NDT for the inspections. Big money. QA, when you're looking online for jobs that says quality assurance, generally they're talking about something that has to do with software. It's not like the military. So those of you that are ex-military that are watching this right now, QA does not mean what you think it means. When they talk about quality assurance, it's usually software development of some sort. Now, for like the aircraft community, for us, it's QC. For the welding, like if you go into aerospace and they say they have a QA program, like the space agencies and private space agencies, that actually means it's NDT, NDI. You're inspecting the welds. That's what they're looking at, which is, again, good money. We'll get into that. For like welders, there is 2% growth and less than 2% unemployment. Some of you are going to argue that, I know. And that's why I'm going to cover this right now. And this is one of the examples that we were talking about the other day, Chris. I'm just going to throw this one out there. It's a fake number. Don't read into this too much, but we're just going to talk about what we have seen in the aerospace community where welders are making really good money starting out. If you can get into a private space agency or you can get into the aerospace community one way, shape, or form, you're going to make more money than most welders. Production welding, though, you have different styles of welding. You can all fit into the same thing, more or less. You have your production welding and you have your repair welders, or you have your inspectors. But the big thing for work is production and repair. Production welding is about to be a thing of the past, guys and gals. If you're watching, all you have to do is look at the car manufacturers. They're using robots. Big one is KUKA. Your aerospace, SpaceX, a lot of the other ones, they're using KUKA, robot welders. So the production welding, unless they're a startup, is about to be a thing of the past for the big money gigs. So let's say, for example, you have 200,000 jobs for welders. 100,000 of production, 100,000 on repair. You know, they probably trade it on and off, whatever. But right now, we'll say, for the sake of argument, 100,000 on repair, 100,000 on production. Robots are moving it. Now you have 200,000 workers fighting over 100,000 jobs. Unemployment numbers do not necessarily reflect that yet, but this is something for you to look into. And this is I'm an electrician, and I know that there are a lot of hard jobs out there, plumbing, you have to know your shit, HVAC, you have to know your shit, electricians got to know your shit. And there is some artwork in what we do. But I will tell you what, when it comes to welding, what you do is artwork because that's what you're fucking graded on. If it don't look like a good weld, you ain't making no money, bro. You are not making no money. So if you're going to try to get into the aerospace community, make sure you can run a good beat. These are things to look at. Orbital welders, that is a big deal now too. They make a lot of money. A lot of places are looking for orbital welders. And know that does not mean space. That means pipe work. So that's another thing to look at. When they're talking about unemployment, look from state to state, field to field. It all depends. We'll get into some of that here in a few minutes. Then anybody got anything else on welding before I move on? No? All right, good deal. Now, another blue collar sector that I did not cover in licensed or unlicensed, because it actually covers all of it, is your oil and gas industry. Now, the oil field, it depends on your job. I mean, really, on how much you're going to make or what you're going to do. I mean, you've got different jobs out there from riggers to derrick hands to electricians to whatever. They make some good money. Starting off, it's usually about 24 an hour. But the reason they make such good money is those guys do not stop working. And it's dangerous. So your overtime and your hazard pay and shit like that is going to be pretty considerable. Now, that's for the oil field itself. Now, let's talk to the big cream of the crop from the oil and gas industry, which is the oil rig. That's offshore fucking oil and gas. They make a lot more money. They do. Some people might argue that, but these statistics don't lie. They make a lot more money. Why? Because you're pulling all the time. Depends on how long you're out there, what shift work is like, what that company wants to do, that kind of stuff, what your certifications on. Or for electricians, you want to look into stuff like programmable logic controllers. Yep, PLCs. For everybody else, I mean, pretty much they're going to need what you've got anyway, and you can move up in the oil and gas industry. Jacob, which is doing over Toxically podcast, he's not here today, but that dude knows a lot about oil and gas. Don't you used to work oil field too?
For a little bit.
Yeah. Jacob did it for a long time, saw a lot of nasty stuff out there. But if you got questions, hit us up for sure. We'll answer your questions. Any of you guys that are oil and gas that want to give suggestions or comments to the people that are watching right now, please leave your comments below. We'd appreciate it. So the next big one. Oh, oil rig. I do want to cover that. Because remember I was talking about this. Oil rigs. You go from like a $40,000 a year salary or whatever, depends on what you're doing, how long you're out there and stuff like that, to $250,000. That is one of the biggest industries out there as far as making money for blue collar. You just gotta be willing to do the time and away from your family. Just know you making that money. Your family get to enjoy it. You like to get to enjoy it sometimes, which is how the rest of us work. It's all about the family quality of life.
Definitely how I heard it.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
All right, so another big one. This is another unlicensed depends, because in this one we do have electrical workers, we do have plumbers. We do have carpenters, the framers, which is your general house construction, home construction, general construction, building construction, your steel workers are out there too. Entry level for this job is 30 to 35K a year. That's for like 0 to 2 years. Your man is 3 to 5 years, and that's 40 to 50K. Experienced, 55 to 70K. And the average national salary for anybody above 5 years right now is approximately 95K. Depends on the job. Your electrician's going to make a little bit more. It just depends on what you're doing. Your inspector is going to make a lot more. But before you decide you want to be a building inspector, the unemployment rate for building inspectors is retardedly high. It is astronomically high. You're looking at 13 to 15% depending on state. So yes, it's a cool thing to try to aspire to, appraisals, building inspectors, that kind of junk. But just be aware of the job market, right? Which we're going to cover in another episode too on motivation and work ethic. My generation, and we can discuss this now, doesn't bother me. My generation fucked up. I'm a Generation X. So new Gen X dudes out there and women out there, we fucked up. We are the last generation that actually had it really fucking hard when we were growing up. And we told our kids they can be anything they want to be. A lot of us forgot one very, very important piece of information. It needs to make you money. I mean, if you have a degree in underwater basket weaving, great, you're passionate and awesome. You spend a lot of money for it. Awesome. Not a lot of people are going to want that skill set. You need to be looking at, I mean, if you want to do that, awesome. Do it on the side. Be passionate about it until you can figure out how to make that money, how to have that make money to where more people are going to want your skill set. You better have a fallback plan. And that's what we neglected, a lot of us neglected to tell our children. Get into something marketable that's going to make money to people who need your skill set. Just because you're passionate about it doesn't mean other people are passionate about it. So until, like I said, until you learn how to make that make money, you better have something to support yourself or support your family. Yep.
Also, you're going to come to the blue collar side. I'm not going to say certain things about blue collar, but what I'll say is this. Don't come with a chip on the shoulder. For sure. Don't look for any kind of acceptance or does the guy like me? Go in there, do the job, learn the skill, and become one of the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Because from the day you step in, it's all on you. It depends on if you learn the trade, if you get to know the trade and you excel at that trade, you're going to be the boss. So you're going to be making that extra money. You're going to be setting the standard for all these younger generations that are coming in. Okay, don't come with a chip on your shoulder. It's very rough. You know, you have the old school guys. You have the middle school guys. And it's not all about Gen X. You know, the younger guys. You know, they have pride in what they're doing.
Sure.
So when you have a new guy come in, you know, they want you to have that same pride. So just do the job, put your head down, and get busy.
Well, I'm sure as long as you guys are all aware too, right? You're the new guy. Find the best guy on the site, carry his toolbox.
Yep.
Go find out what he's doing and be doing it with him and stuff, learning from him and everything. Right. Then I mean, that's how a lot of us learn. Was just carrying that toolbox. He's like, what do you need? And go meet that gopher.
Brother, and blue collar, man, they're going to be assholes. You know, trust me. I was one, but I got to the top of the trade. But what?
A dude told me a story once, and now I want you to tell it again. About this week. Tell the story about Sweden.
So years ago, I went to trade school to be an auto mechanic. Very first job. Guy hands me a broom, says, go clean the shop. Okay, go out, sweep the shop, do a good job, but I look, make sure, okay, everything looks good. I come back, he's like, okay, cool. We'll put you on something else. Puts me on a vehicle. He starts showing me how to work on a vehicle. A couple other guys that were given the same task. They swept the floor in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Dude kept putting him back on, clean again, clean again. And you're like, hey, what the hell? How come he gets to go do car stuff? He says, well, when I gave him a task, the tiniest task to go do, he went out there, did the task to 100%. I know he's focused. Moved him up, started showing him other stuff. You guys that don't do that, they basically got recycled. And I'm like, so I've taught that to my children. I try to teach that to everyone because I was like, wow, such a small thing, but
Master the small things.
Yeah, they're always looking for it. They're looking to see if you got that attention.
For sure.
If you actually wanted as much as they did when they were younger. So they don't want to hand out that tribal knowledge to someone that they feel is not worthy of it. You know,
Just
that's
throw it away.
Yeah, and that's how I came up. Because when I first came in, I'm like, why are these people assholes to me? Why are they trying like shit?
Right.
And then I was like, you know what, get that chip off my shoulder, you know, and just hunker down and do the work. And I had an old school guy come up to me and says, you know what, you took all that shit and you didn't say nothing. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm new here. He goes,
right.
That's your mindset.
Right.
I'm not saying take the abuse. Like if the person's being very abusive, don't take that. I'm just saying, you know, when you're new to the skill and you're new to the trade, that's what you're there for. You're there to learn. So learn every single thing you can. And then when you're the boss, make the rules, man.
Yeah. You're not failing stuff like that, but it's how you feel and you learn from it and everything.
Oh my God, that's a beat.
You can choose your battles, man.
Yeah.
Choose your battles. That's the way I came out.
It's one thing I try to teach my kids. How you deal with success is important. but how you deal with failure is way more. You're going to fail more times than you're going to succeed, and that just causes you to learn.
Right.
You learn what not to do.
Right.
Yep.
And which, I mean, I'm glad you were bringing that up too. And you treat every job that you do like it's the only job you're ever going to have.
Yep.
Go into it with the mindset that I will be better at this job than anybody else around me. Now, I mean, don't try to be all arrogant and rub it in dirt or anything, but I'm talking about your quality and your work ethic. If you treat every job that you do in the blue collar sector like it's the only job you're ever going to have, and you want to do it better than everybody else, including if you're sweeping the goddamn fucking floor, you're going to excel, because they are not going to trust you with the big jobs that are going to cost them money if you fuck up until you prove that you can do the job in the first place. So sweep that floor better than anybody else has swept or mopped that floor before, so they know this dude wants this job, this dude wants to do well, and they move him up. I mean, shit, I know that's work ethic, and we'll get into that in a later date, but these are very important lessons that men need to learn today. Suck it up, man the fuck up, and do your job better than everybody else around you. Have some damn pride.
Everyone wants to do is a cool, sexy job, but you got to do the small jobs first.
Get
You got to
the
master
shit
those.
before you move up, bro. So,
You just think, how much are you getting paid to sweep a floor? I was like, come on now.
Yeah.
I was like, give me that damn bird.
You'll be eating off that floor.
So I told you, I taught that to my kids, right? I try to raise them that way. So my son's an auto mechanic. And so it's work when things are slow. He'll grab the broom, he'll sweep up, and he'll clean up the toolbox. The boss, of course, his boss would see on occasion, be like, why is that kid always cleaning? Why isn't he working? He says, well, he finishes jobs, so he's cleaning. His boss was like, oh. So he got moved from the general helper type stuff. Now he's building high horsepower motors for the engine, or for Mustangs and shit. So we showed that he had dedication.
Right.
And so when I asked him about it, he goes, I learned that from my dad. And he was like, my dad didn't have it. So of course, I can't take credit for that. I learned that from someone else. I just passed on the knowledge, which is what we're talking about. Pass the knowledge on.
Yeah.
So
like, we will wear the bloody t-shirt so they don't have to. Learn from our mistakes.
Right.
That way you don't make the same one. Build on that. All right, so how to get into these wonderful fucking trade skills or trade schools. First off, you're going to have a high school diploma or a GED. Generally, anywhere you go, that's what you're going to have. Don't just walk in there, drop out, and expect to be able to do anything. You're going to at least have to have your GED. Depending on the state, you can do, like we were talking about, apprenticeship programs. If you find a master to work under, usually that's a small town deal. You're still going to have to get the state licensing board to find out exactly what it takes to have that license in the first place. Just because you can do that, you're doing the job with that master there, doesn't mean you're going to be licensed and you'll be able to work on your own.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Now with something like if I don't know anything about the electrical side, I'll never get into that.
Yeah.
Do they work under the master's license?
But it actually depends on the company, to be honest. It depends on what they've got. That's even for the aviation field too, as well. When we get to that point, because as an electrician, you can, if you have your own A&P license, which is airframes, power plants, you'll make a decent amount more than the people that don't. But as long as you have been trained in avionics or aviation electronics, you can generally work under their repair certification. So it all really depends. Again, you're going to have to find out from the company. You're going to have to find out from the state. And the electricians, that's the ones that it plays around with quite a bit.
And for you electricians, all you electricians, put in an RV water heater by myself, and it didn't burn down. We're going on day 4, baby.
Did you teach anybody how to do it?
You probably don't all watch how he did. No leaks. I was chewing on the wires. Sat there for about 30 minutes
waiting for this thing to blow up. I'm good.
I'm a master. I can see what the room
No, you're Got you. I'll just quit tomorrow now. JT's got me.
All right.
Tomorrow myself and nothing.
I had old girls.
You had her do it all.
Now she was ready to pull me off. Yeah.
If y'all are interested in any of these trade skills, I know that Home Depot, at least in Georgia and a bunch of other states, they have an entry-level program where you can get a certification on just about any of the trade skill programs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a big school or anything like
Yeah,
that, but it
program.
gets your feet wet and allows you to see what's going on out there as far as the trade schools go.
Yeah, well, Mike Rowe has scholarships and everything for apprenticeships and everything too.
Another big one is you general labor people out there, especially your Gen Zers that are trying to break into the fields. JT already brought this up once. General labor ain't bad. Get out there and work. You'll see all of the trade skills or trade skill people out there, the licensed people, and you'll be able to figure out if that's a job I want to do or not. Talk to some people. Get out there and do the general labor, and you might even be able to do some of their jobs with them to try to figure out if this is for me or not. Another big one is for all of you that are going to college, or trying to decide if I want to do a blue-collar job or a trade skill job, or I want to go to college. How much is your diploma? I mean, what's the entry level on it? I mean, like an MBA. I have an MBA, I can wipe my ass with it. Entry level MBA, $35,000 to $40,000 a year. It doesn't do dick. Why? Because everybody in the United States wants to be a boss and nobody actually wants to do the work, which we're going to get to that here in a minute. Your trade schools are considerably less. And if you go by the statistics that we put out there and look at the links yourself at the bottom, you'll see that most of the blue collar sector is making considerably more than your white collar jobs, than those, degree fields that you're going into, unless you're like a doctor or something, or you're some kind of genius. This isn't for you in the first place, unless you're just trying to figure out how to do stuff around your home on your own. So general laborers, again, everybody, if you're trying to get into the trade school, check out the requirements for the one that you're interested in. Look online, and it's going to vary state by state. So you need the biggest thing to look at, all of you, is your state licensing board. That's going to tell you how long you got to do shit, what you got to do, how many hours of OJT you've got to do, what exams you need to pass, how long it has to take, that kind of joke. So the big thing is, if you're coming in as an apprentice, do the work. Don't take no for an answer. Shop around. If you're a first-year apprentice, that you can't find a job, shop around. And we will get into that when we have our union discussions and stuff like that. If it's a job you want to get into and it's making a decent amount of money and you're in the wrong location, blow the location. Our job as men is to protect and to provide. I'm not trying to say enable. I'm saying our job as men is to protect and to provide, either for ourselves or for our families. So if it looks like you're going downhill, look elsewhere. And I'm not talking about looking at a different job. I mean, you can do that too. But you've already put in the time and work to your job now. Find someplace else. A lot of states are different, and a lot of areas are different too. So if you're having a hard time finding that apprenticeship job I'm talking about in a big city, go to a smaller one for a while until you can find it. If you can't afford that trade school, eventually you're going to have to go to the trade school anyway. But if you're working under that master and making a little bit of money to pocket that away to pay for your trade school. Plus, there's a lot of grants and benefits out there, scholarships for these things, especially if you're military vets. I mean, oh shit, yeah, a lot of stuff.
Well, and even just showing up every day. Sometimes honestly, that's you've put in the door right there and get you is just by showing up every day on time and everything.
Oh, on time is early.
5 minutes early is on time.
5 minutes early is 10 minutes late.
For sure. That's first military cats. All right. So now, why do I want to do blue collar? And I'm going to go down there, and I'm not just talking about the money. Again, the boomers, 65 to 72, some of them are coming in, but a lot of them are getting ready to retire or unfortunately die. I mean, I hate to say that, but it's a fact of life. I'm getting old. I'm not a boomer, but I'm catching up. Yeah, go ahead and talk shit, dude. I see you with that.
We only have one that looks like a boomer.
All right, so like for example, electricians, and you can look these again up on these sites that I'm talking to you about. I'm going to show them up here, and I'm going to put them in the comments. Electricians. Right now, we're 500,000 short, and I know that, and that's in the United States. And I know that, like Mike Rowe, he was even talking about it, that we're 500,000 short on electricians. They're looking at it right now. Yes, we're 500,000 short right now. 81,000 electricians short every year. So that it's getting worse over time. So that means it's a good place to jump into. Supply and demand. If the demand is high, we need electricians. We don't have the supply, your pay goes up.
Power consumption isn't going down.
Yeah, it ain't going away. So that's a big one. Plumbers. Right now, 550,000 short. And 60,000 per year that they're expecting they're going to need additional jobs, and we're not going to be able to cover. HVAC, 225,000 short. They're expecting 40% increase in needed jobs just in the next decade. So that is even going to get worse. Oil and gas, 191,000 short. Now, why is that? Because a lot of it has to be for everybody, aging workforce. Or oil and gas, a lot of people are shifting to renewable energy because it makes money, windmills and all that, solar. But actually, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we haven't recovered COVID. A lot of them got laid off and went someplace else, and they just never came back. Now, more money elsewhere. But that's only going to last so long. I mean, yes, everybody's trying to do this green planet stuff, but fact of the matter is, I mean, you look at it, the science is there, yes, whatever. We're not ready to convert over to green energy. We can't. I mean, look at LA. They tried to pass that law to where everybody had to be on electrical vehicles and shut down the power grid, and then next thing you know, you can only charge between certain hours and all that kind of jazz. We don't have the ability right now to go fully green. We're still going to need oil and gas regardless anyway, until we find a way to make plastics without fucking petroleum, or a lot of our chemicals without petroleum. We're still going to need it. It's not just the gasoline in the car. I mean, there was a cool movie that's out there. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, anyway, he's talking to an engineer, female, about the price of a windmill and how much petroleum it takes to make that steel to begin with.
Landmass.
And then how much petroleum it takes to grease those bearings,
Right.
as well. And that the fact that whether it's true or not, it's still something to think about.
Right.
It never generates enough money or energy to offset how much petroleum you put into making it. You didn't save a goddamn thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are going to disagree, whatever. I mean, we might even cover all of that at a later date as far as fact checking goes and all of that jazz. So oil and gas, sure. Now, another one we were talking about, which is A&P, airframes and power plants. They are 642,000 technicians short. This year alone. And as far as getting your A&P license, there's only 180 schools, or less than 180 schools in the United States. Now, Texas got quite a few of them. You got Hallmark and all that kind of junk. But the rest of the states, I really don't know. There's something we have to look up. But there's supposed to be a 70% increase in needed positions for A&P in the next 5 years. 70% increase. Now, for construction, your residential and your commercial, there is a 41% shortage in residential right now, and a 59% in non-residential commercial. We're short across the board from actual construction. That's steel workers. That's everything. People are needing to build houses. We've got more people coming in all the goddamn time, and we have a housing shortage, and nobody can afford the house. So there is that. So why should we get into blue collar? You've already heard what we've had to put out there. Money is a big one. You're going to make more money at blue collar, but you're going to put the time in. This is not one of those things where you get to skate off and do not a goddamn thing, because that's usually how you get let go. We will get fired at blue collar. Yeah, states have like labor laws and all that kind of stuff, right to hire, right to fire states, and then the rest of them still going to find it. They're going to find a way to get rid of you if you aren't doing your job. The biggest thing is, how do I contribute to my fucking company? If you're not making the money, they're going to let you go. So just sitting there and costing them money, causing problems, not paying attention to your work, quality of work, rework is a big one. The length of time, the scheduling. If you're not contributing to making them efficient and making them money, they will find a way to let you go. Is that true?
Yeah.
I mean, you're definitely not going to get promoted without it. Everybody likes money, right? I mean, why else would you be going blue collar? Unless this is just something you love to do. I love to do it, but above all else, I love the money. I've got kids. You got to make the money. So there's that. Another big one is longevity, job security. We're short. We're short on blue collar. We are short on licensed blue collar. So that means the jobs are out there. You just have to be willing to go out and find them. We will have other episodes on how to get into the job market one way or another, what to look up, where to go, stuff like Indeed, writing a resume, how to do that, how to make them pass an interview, that kind of stuff. But blue collar isn't going away. I mean, for a long while. Yes, robotics are coming out. But will it replace all of us? Absolutely not. It's not yet. Not for a while. Not for a long while. AI and stuff like that can make job easier for like marketers, or, data entry and all that kind of job. Will those jobs be going away? Yes. I mean, unfortunately, and those of you out there that love your jobs, I'm sorry. It's still going to happen. I mean, some people don't like progression, but it's going to happen anyway. I know that back in the old West days, when they came out with the automobile, all of the horse farriers, animal husbanders, stagecoach drivers, all that kind of job were like, I am going to lose my job and it's going to cripple the nation. They didn't. They came out with more jobs. So this is something to look at. Just because you think jobs are going away, history proves it. It just adds more jobs. You just might have to change, which comes back to being a man. Stay relevant. Look at your field. If there are additional skills that you don't have that are coming available, train them. Find somebody. Read about them. Study about them. Go out and do the jobs. That way you can make that money too, and your skill set, if it does pass down, you don't pass away. You're moving up. So that's another big one when it comes to blue collar jobs. Trade skills and trade schools. There is a lot of unlicensed out there for sure. But trade skills and trade schools, we're making all the money, folks. How bad do you want it? That's what it comes down to. How bad do you want it? Again, Toxically Mail. It's a network. You'll go to the bottom of the website there. It'll say join a Toxically Mail network. Very soon, we're even going to have a questionnaire on there. It's going to talk to you about, or it's going to ask the people. So keep checking. It's going to ask the people, what profession are you in? Are you licensed? What state? How long have you been doing it? Are you a vet? What MOS, NEC, what was your job specialty? What did you do while you were in the military? Did you retire? How many years are you in? Now, why is that important, you might ask? We're trying to create a network, and we will put out information on available jobs, high-paying jobs. We're going to feed it to our people, our family. We're all family now. We're going to help you out. So make sure that you jump in on that application, that questionnaire. It can't hurt. It can only help. Everybody's always looking. If you stop looking for the next position, the higher position, then you have no room to bitch about the fact that you don't make enough money. Never stop looking. Be loyal, for sure. I mean, loyalty is a needed commodity. But companies need to be loyal to their people, too.
Know your worth.
Know your worth. If you have exceeded the demands of your company and they are stagnating on your position or how much you're getting paid or compensation, whatever, time to look elsewhere. I mean, loyalty only goes so far. Family is everything. Family and friends. Remember, Toxically Male, we're not just talking to you about how to take care of shit around the house. We're trying to show you a better way to live, which means respect yourself, respect others, and respect other people's property. And that's where we're having a lot of problems in this nation. You guys agree?
Yeah.
Respect yourself first, because if you can't even respect yourself, you're not going to respect anybody else. And respect your property and other people's property. And then respect others. And the golden rule is, to get respect, you must first give respect. Don't just expect it. You have to give it first. Well, that's all I got to say on trade skills, trade schools. You guys got anything else?
Nope.
So, not this time.
Well, just like I always say, we've done the talking. You've done the listening. Now it's time for us to get the fucking work. We'll see you next time on Toxically Male. This is Toxic Talk. Y'all have a good night.
Stick like oak, steel toe boots kicking up the smoke, sweat on the brow, dirt in the soul. Sunrise hits a weathered face, hammer swings in a steady race. Hard-earned pride ain't no disgrace.